In this video, I would like to talk about 5 tips for 19-year-olds like myself trying to better themselves. Now, everything I mention in this video is things that I believe in and also things that I do myself. Number 1 is work on your mindset. Now, this is something that I've been doing for a couple of years now, and it's something that I would recommend to a lot of people wanting to achieve their goals, even just wanting to just become the greatest version of themselves. I would say changing your mindset is such an important thing, no matter what we are doing in life. Whether we are chasing goals, chasing dreams, or we just want to be a good person, I think changing our perspectives, changing our mindsets is so important. I remember when I was younger and I used to have a mindset that most people have when it came to goals, when it came to dreams, achieving things. And I used to think that other people that achieved goals were lucky and that I couldn't achieve them. But the more that I kept thinking and the more as time has gotten on, the more that I started to realise that no matter what I set my mind to, no matter what goals, what dreams, no matter what I want to go after and achieve, that thing is possible. And I know it might sound cheesy, it might sound cliche, but I realised that that is actually the truth. We can chase whatever we want in life, and when we set our minds to something, we can achieve it. And to get up to this point where I have gotten this mindset, as well as all the other mindsets about failures, about setbacks, about self-doubt and all that stuff, it takes time to get to those points. It doesn't happen overnight. A bit like the goals, a bit like the dreams, a bit like even taking the small steps, things will start to add up over time, but things don't happen overnight. So it will take some time to get to a point where you do have a positive mindset. It doesn't even have to do with goals, just a mindset that you know can help you in some way. It might not happen overnight, but the more we keep thinking about something, the more we keep implementing stuff to help our mindsets grow, even by changing perspectives a little bit, by changing how we see certain things, over time that will start to add up, and that new mindset will just feel normal. It's not going to feel like it's something new anymore. It's going to feel normal. It's going to feel like we do it all the time, which is what happens when I experience failures or setbacks. Now, yes, there is times where I say, oh, why is this happening to me? But the other side of me goes, well, these things are happening to me for some sort of reason. Whether it's to build my skills up, whether it's to make me more patient, I believe there's always something, there's always a reason to why things happen. Number 2 is to take care of your body, which is something that I value so much. For me, when I think of this, I think of sleep, and this is something that I value quite a lot. I try to focus primarily on sleep. And there's also been times in the past where I've focused on maybe fitness and also mental health as well. And a few years ago, I used to be overweight and I didn't like the position that I was in. And I knew that if I never changed my habits, then I could actually get even worse. So I knew something had to be done, and I changed my ways. I changed how I eat. And over a year, I was able to lose over 50 pounds. That was because I focused on my body. I focused on things that I knew was necessary. So I believe it is important to take care of our body, whether that is mentally, physically, and even emotionally. And also, I believe important spiritually as well. I tend to focus on these things just because I know how much of an impact it has on my future. I know that what I do is helping me mentally and can have a knock-on effect positively in the future. For instance, when I lost weight, I was able to build so much confidence from that, and from getting to know about myself more spiritually, I've been able to feel more peace within me. So I believe by focusing on maybe 1, 2, or maybe a lot of things at once can help such a long way. Number 3, I believe is so important, and this is something that I would say to my younger self if I had the chance to, which would be to be patient. Most of us, we all want to achieve our goals fast. I would be lying if I said that I wouldn't. Of course, we all do. And within this day and age, we all want things fast. We all want things by maybe the next day. And even sometimes waiting for stuff the next day can feel like forever. But the truth is, no matter what we want in life, it is going to take time. Especially those big goals, those big dreams that we have. And a few years ago, this was a harsh truth that I had to understand. A harsh pill that I had to swallow. Because if I was stubborn and if I was to ignore myself or ignore maybe other people that were saying the same things that I am, then I knew that, well, maybe they are speaking truth and maybe I might not get to those places where I wanted to be. And especially my younger self, I was watching people on the internet and I was hearing them also talk about that. Talk about how things take time. So I started to realize that, okay, if I want to get to the places where I want to be, then maybe I do need to be more patient. Maybe I do need to just stop rushing things and to just take things day by day, even if it is taking small steps. Because what I have realized, and what I've said in many other videos, is that taking small steps, a lot of people might think taking small steps is pointless, but taking small steps can actually help so much. If you really think about it, taking those small steps, if I'm taking one small step every single day for a year, that means I am 365 steps ahead than I would have if I never took those small steps. So that just shows you on how important it is, even taking small steps. I've also been able to take away those false expectations. For example, one of the goals that I have right now, one of my main goals, instead of expecting it to happen in a certain amount of time, whether that is a year or maybe within 2 years, I try to create a long expectation where now I expect it to happen in maybe a decade. Because the truth is, the reality is, these things might take longer than we think. And sometimes that can upset us if we have false expectations of doing things in a certain amount of time, which can be great, but sometimes they can be false expectations where they aren't really possible to achieve them in a certain amount of time. So by creating these long expectations, then it's not going to create disappointment and it's not going to make us feel upset or sad. So that's something that I've done. Now I create long expectations instead of creating short expectations. False expectations. Number 4 is discipline beats motivation. Now I think this is important because, a bit like my younger self, sometimes we crave that motivation, but the truth is that motivation isn't going to be there. As I said on number 3, there is going to be times where we don't want to wake up straight away and go straight after our goals. There's times where we might want to sleep in and do other things. Maybe we don't even want to do anything on those low days. But the truth is, and something that I've realised the harsh way, is that these things start to add up. The more that we tell ourselves, I'll do this the next time, the more time we are taking ourselves away from actually doing the things that matter to us. We are stopping ourselves from creating real progress. We are stopping ourselves from finding valuable pieces of information, because who knows, maybe if we do say to ourselves, okay, I'll do this no matter how I'm feeling, and let's say a challenge comes. It might be a tough and challenging day, but that challenge taught us something that we wouldn't have had before if we just let our emotion take over. So I hope that made sense, but I believe there's always a knock-on effect to everything we have, whether positive or negative. Maybe by taking that day off and focusing on something else that doesn't really matter as our goals, that day could have presented a valuable lesson that could help us for the future. These are some of the things that I think about And that is enough for me to just keep going, essentially. Enough to just say to myself, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to care about how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling in this moment. I'm just going to do it. And after I done that thing that I didn't want to do at first, but I knew was necessary, then it makes me feel better about myself. Maybe you've also realized as well, it's the same as going to the gym. There's some days where we don't feel like going to the gym. But when we do push ourselves, we start to understand that, okay, now I feel better about myself. Now I feel like I can overcome the other challenges. So the great thing about pushing ourselves, the great thing about building the discipline is that it brings confidence, and it's more of, it makes us feel stronger mentally as well. It makes us think that we can overcome other challenges. So I believe it's important to focus on pushing ourselves, to building the discipline, so that we aren't just waiting for those motivation moments, waiting for those when I'm ready type of moments. And in the long run, a bit like everything that I've mentioned, it will start to pay off. Number 5 is believe before you see. Now, maybe for a lot of people, I would also say my younger self, to be fair, we're kind of the believe it to see it type of thing. And I've noticed that that tends to be mostly for everything. But what I've realised is that sometimes we need to believe, even if we can't see it yet. And what I've understood is that as long as that belief is there, even though we might not see the outcome, as maybe we might not see the progress, but as long as that belief is still there, I believe that is the only and necessary thing that we need. Eventually, we will be able to see that progress that might not be visible now. But over time, a bit like everything, over time, we will start to see that visible progress, even if we can't see it yet. So it's about believing in ourselves. Even if people are doubting us, even if sometimes we are doubting ourselves, even if we might not see that visible progress yet. Because one thing that I also feel is important as well is that as long as we see the vision, as long as we see something, maybe it's not the visible progress, but if we can see ourselves achieving something, then for me, that is enough for me to just keep going. If we keep believing in ourselves for a long period of time, even if we might not see the progress, the results, eventually we will start to see those results. We will start to see those progress. But that happens through time. And I know it's something that I say quite a lot. This happens through time, this happens through time. But what I've realised with a lot of these things is through time, things do start to happen. I think for us, it's just our expectations. Maybe we expect something to happen in a certain amount of time. Maybe we want it to happen in a certain amount of time. But the reality is, it's going to take time. It might take longer than we think. It might take twice as long, 3 times as long, even 4 times as long, and even more than that. And I also say that things start to come when the time is right. Those moments where we are able to see visible progress, those moments will start to come when the time is right. If it's not happening, then maybe the time isn't right. And things also show up when we least expect it. Maybe you've also realised this as well. But maybe something amazing has happened to you when you least expect it. I've experienced a lot of stuff just like that. So the truth is, things are going to take time. And that is something that I am continuously still telling myself to this day. I also would just like to say, I have said all these things that I believe in and things that have worked for me, but maybe they might not work for you. So implement the things that work for you and do the things that you believe in. Now again, it's great to test things. It's great to see what works and what doesn't. This is something that I do myself. I tend to see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I might hear someone saying something that has worked for them, and I tend to do it myself. And maybe it does work for me, and other times it might not. So I can't stress this enough. But you can change the level of strictness. Maybe you're hearing me, maybe you're hearing other people talking about how strict they are on themselves. But what I've always said to myself when it comes to this thing is that do what you want to do. Be strict and choose that level of strictness based on how you feel. If you want to be really strict, then that's okay, be really strict. If you don't, then again, that's okay. It's up to us, it's our lives to do what we want to do, and it's okay to take maybe things from what I've said from other people, but most importantly, do the things that you want to do. Do the things that make you happy. Do the things on your own terms. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video could help you in any type of way. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you could please like this video, subscribe down below, and if you know anyone that may benefit from watching this, then I would appreciate it if you could please share this video to them. Thank you so much, and I will see everyone in the next one.